This is Dr. Olu Asekun here. Welcome to our live podcast. Today is another beautiful Wednesday. You are welcome. This podcast is every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and currently 7 p.m. Nigerian Time. So, wherever you are welcome. Today, we are going to be discussing how to get green card as an investor. That is the topic for today. How to get green card as an investor. Can you please help me get to the channel? Okay, I think is that okay. Thank you. So that is the topic for today, how to get green card as an investor. So if you have questions, start sending your questions in. As usual, we accept questions on WhatsApp. And I believe we have so many numbers where you could send the questions. You can send your questions to 817-883-4495. You can send the questions to 817-983-4499. So, we are discussing the topic today, how to get green card as an investor. We need to understand that the United States is a capitalist economy. This is a system that is based entirely, well, not entirely, but majority of the system is based on private sector. So, in this country, if you have the resources and you come in as an investor, you can actually obtain green card for yourself and members of your family. Now, there are basic requirements. So even if you are a billionaire or a millionaire, you may not be eligible if you don't meet the requirements. So what are those requirements? Number one, you must be able to invest a minimum of $800,000. That is if you intend to go through a regional center. I will explain that later. In the alternative, if you choose to conduct the investment on your own, you have to invest $900,000. In that case, you don't need to go through any third party or any regional center. You can choose what investment you want to go into, and then you can handle your own investment yourself. Now, the second requirement, apart from having the money, the second requirement, and a major one for that matter, is that you must be able to explain in great details the source of that money, the source of the funds. This program is not available for those who are not in a position to explain in great details the source of their income. In other words, if the source of your money is connected with money laundering, the petition will be denied. If the source of the money is connected with drug or any other illegal activities, the petition will be denied. So there must be an explanation in great details. I will explain what I mean by great details. In great details, how that money was obtained before the petition can be approved. That is the second requirement. The third requirement is that you must ensure that the investment creates a minimum of 10 American jobs. You must ensure that the investment creates a minimum of 10 American jobs. Usually, This is not a problem for those who decide to invest through a regional center, because that responsibility will be transferred to the regional center. It is all you if you are investing through a regional center, all you need to do is just to provide the funds and then provide an explanation of the funds. So if you meet the first two requirements, if you want to go through a regional center, that is all you need to do. However, if you are contemplating investing on your own, doing your own investment and all of that, one, you must invest 900,000 as opposed to the 800 for regional center. And secondly, you must explain the source of the funds. And thirdly, you must ensure that whatever you invested in create at least 10 American jobs. And of course, the jobs must be verifiable. I will go into details of all that. I'm just listing the requirement right now. So those are three main requirements. If you are going through a regional center, the requirements are only two, which is you provide the funds to the regional center. Two, you explain in great details the source of that money. That is all you need to do. And then you apply for green card. But if you decide to invest on your own, the requirement will be three. One, you have to show that you have to bring in the money. You have to bring the 900,000 into the United States. Two, you have to explain the source of that money. And three, you have to ensure that whatever you invest in or whatever the investment is, at least it must create minimum of 10 American jobs. Now, let me go a little further into the requirement. The difference between someone investing through a regional center and someone who is doing it themselves is that for a regional center, all you need to do is to send the money to the regional center and provide an explanation of the source and part of the funds. You don't need to be involved in the day-to-day management of the investment. That is what regional centers do. You don't even need to stay in the US if you don't want to. You can apply for green card and then subsequently apply for travel document and employment authorization. So once your travel document is approved, you can continue to travel in and out of the United States. It is the regional center's headache to ensure that the investment creates minimum of 10 American jobs. It is the regional center's headache as to the management of the investment. So you continue to do your business or do whatever you want with your time. You are not involved in the management of the regional center, and you are not involved in the management of the investment. So those are some of the advantages of going through a regional center. Now, when I say that you can apply for green card, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to come to the US. However, there are two ways of processing this. There are two ways of applying for green card under investor visa. Your family and apply for green card, and then you file the petition. So while the petition is pending, you can apply for employment authorization, you can apply for travel document so that you be in the system and you continue to do business. If you need to travel, you travel. If you need to work, you have social security number, you have everything that you need in order to be in the system. So you can start all of that from day one. So in other words, you can bring your money into the US today and then apply for green card today with members of your family. So you don't have to wait until the petition is approved. So as you are applying, you can also apply for green card concurrently. So that is the advantage if you come into the US. However, if you don't have the time, if you believe that, oh, I can't stay in the US for a long time, because when you come to the US and you apply for green card, you must be prepared to stay here for some time, because the moment the application for permanent resident is submitted, it will invalidate whatever non-immigrant visa you have. So if you have a visiting visa, once you submit an application for permanent resident, your visiting visa becomes invalid. So if you now travel, except you get travel permit, you may not be able to re-enter the US. So that is why it is important. One, if you are going to do this, make sure you get an experienced immigration attorney. You know, this is not, I mean, come on, $800,000 is a lot of money. You don't want to invest that and then get somebody who lacks experience, somebody who may mislead you, somebody who, I mean, we have seen all these things happen. That's why we are, one of the reasons why we are doing this, treating this topic in this podcast. So you need an experienced attorney who can guide you through the process, because if you don't know and you come in and you apply for green card, you come in with a visiting visa. So after you file your application, if you step out of the country, except you have the travel permit, then two things happen. One, you will not be able to re-enter the US, because the moment you file the application for green card, it invalidates your visiting visa. Two, in addition to the fact that you may not be able to come back, your green card application will also be denied, because the moment you step out of the US without an approved travel document, the law presumes that your application is abandoned. Because remember, you are applying for a permanent resident. You are telling immigration that you want to live here permanently. So if you submit that application and then you subsequently leave, it means you abandon the application. So the application will be denied, and you will also not be able to re-enter the US. So that is like double jeopardy. So you don't want that to happen. That is why experience matters. So going back to the requirement, once you choose to apply from here, if you need to come in, you have to be prepared to stay here for at least between 3 to 6 months. So that way, once after applying, you can also apply for travel document and work permit. So again, they don't expect you to invest that kind of money and not be able to work. They don't expect you to invest that kind of money and not be able to have social security number. They don't expect you to invest that kind of money and not be able to be in the system. So you have the opportunity to apply for all of those things simultaneously with your application for green card. The only thing you cannot do is that you cannot travel until the application for travel document is approved. And like I said, that can take anywhere between 3 to 6 months. That's why if you are coming here to do it, it is better to prepare to stay here for at least 6 months before you can think of traveling abroad. Secondly, once you do that investment through a regional center, you can apply also from outside of the United States. So you don't necessarily have to come in to live here. You can submit the petition alone. But the disadvantage of that, it is called consular processing. The disadvantage of that is that once you go that route, you have to wait until the petition is approved before you can apply for green card through the embassy. Because the consulate cannot treat your application for permanent resident until the visa that is giving you that ground for permanent resident is approved, until the petition that will give you that basis to apply for green card, until that petition is approved. When you apply from the US, because USCIS is the one that will process the petition as well as your application for green card, that is why they allow you to file both of them together concurrently. However, if you are applying for green card from abroad, from the consulate through the embassy, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services is not part of the embassy. The embassy is under the Department of State. So the immigration USCIS is under the Department of Homeland Security. So they are not the same agency. So they are different. So the Department of State will not be able to process your application for green card until your petition has been approved. So that is why it is very, very important that you have the understanding before you decide whether to apply from abroad or to apply while in the United States. Having said that, it is also important to point out that even if you choose to file the petition alone with the aim of applying for green card upon approval through the embassy, you can always change your mind at any time. So once you have a pending application, if subsequently you change your mind, you can come to the US and then apply for adjustment of status. You can apply for green card instead of waiting for the petition to be approved and applying through the embassy. You can come in, change your mind, and then have your application for green card filed, even though your petition is still pending. Real estate, you can buy an existing business, you can invest in food industry, you can invest in IT industry, you can invest in whatever industry you want. However, you have to show that your investment creates at least 10 American jobs, and those jobs must be verifiable. Of course, you know that this is a country of law. This is a country of paper trail. So through the Department of Labor, through the State Workforce Agency, immigration will verify if your investment actually created minimum of 10 American jobs. So those are verifiable. So if you are doing it on your own, the amount is $900,000, but you have to ensure that your investment create at least 10 American jobs. Some people often ask me, okay, what if I come in here and buy a house? Maybe I buy a house for $1 million. No, that will not qualify you for green card under this program. It is not only to bring the money, you have to ensure that your investment create jobs. This program is all about employment creation. That is the rationale behind the program. It is employment creation. So if your investment is self-serving, if your investment is a kind of a selfish investment, you don't get green card for it. So if you invest in real estate, and you can still invest in real estate and create job. I mean, it depends on the nature of the real estate. If you are into construction, for as long as you employ not less than 10 American jobs, you can still get your green card. But the deal is that your investment must create at least 10 American jobs. But if you don't want to be bothered about all that criteria, the best thing is to go through a regional center. Just wire $800,000 to the regional center, provide an explanation of the source of that money, and then you can apply for green card, you and your entire family. So I see that there has been a lot of questions. So let me spend time answering the questions, and we'll take it from there. The first question: hello, sir. You keep saying invest through a regional center. What do you mean by that? Okay, that's a very good question. When this program was created, because the American government is aware that there are a lot of investors who may not have the time to come in and start running business. Because for somebody who is able to raise that kind of money, that person must be busy in his or her hometown. So, or home country. That person must surely have an existing business that he or she may not want to abandon. So you just need somebody to handle that on your behalf. That was why the government created a regional center. Now, this regional center, they are approved by immigration. Somebody cannot just set up a regional center and tell you to come and bring money. Again, this is one of the reasons why you need an experienced attorney to help you navigate through this process, because there are fraudulent people in the United States, the same way you have fraudulent people all over the world. There is no country in the world where you don't have fraudulent people. So some people may defraud innocent people who are not aware of the way this program runs. But the truth of the matter is that the American government, through immigration, they are the one that recognize and approve a regional center, and they monitor them. It's just not to appoint. It is just not to appoint regional centers. They also monitor them. In fact, the regional centers are required to provide what is called exemplar. Exemplar means is that, okay, what program, what project are you investing in? What if you collect all this money from this investor? What are you going to do with it? How is this investment going to create the number of jobs required for each of these investors? So there is an arm of immigration that monitors these regional centers to ensure that they don't defraud foreigners. So the regional centers are approved. They are a center approved by immigration to run this EB5 program. But again, because immigration sometimes they revoke the approval of some of these regional centers. So a regional center may be valid a couple of years now and not be current. So again, this is why you don't just send money to any regional center without doing your due diligence. So it is very, very important that you consult with an experienced immigration attorney who can help you to do the due diligence, who can help you to verify that the regional center you are dealing with is still validly approved by immigration and the approval has not been revoked. Because there are some regional centers whose approval has actually been revoked, but they may not tell a prospective investor. So it is important that you also do your due diligence before you wire money to any investor, any regional center. The next question: can you invest in any US company? Well, you can invest in an existing company, but the challenge you are going to have is to prove how that investment created the job. So it's a different ball game if you are buying the company. You can buy an existing company, or you can also invest in an existing company if you be able to prove that your investment will at least create minimum of 10 American jobs. One of the ways to do that, if the company is struggling, for example, because there is something that is called direct jobs and there are indirect jobs. So if a company is struggling and they are about laying off their employees, if you buy stock, if you come into that company and you are able to save those employees from being fired, that can be considered as indirect employment. But again, before you invest in any company for this purpose, you have to be sure that it will be easy for you to prove the employment of minimum of 10 American jobs. But it's always easier if you buy an existing company. Let's say, for example, you buy a McDonald's franchise. If that franchise location has up to 10 Americans working there, yes, that will be a way of proving employment of 10 American jobs. But if on the other hand, you just buy a share in a local McDonald's franchise, it may be difficult to show the employment of 10 American jobs. So it is better to own it than to just invest in it. If you own it, that employment is certain. You will be able to show that your investment created this job or prevented this job from going out of circulation. The next question: how many years is the green card valid for once it is approved? Well, because at the time of investment, you are projecting, because when you apply for green card, if you listen to what I explained earlier, you can bring your $800,000 into the US today and then apply for green card today. Definitely today you are not going to be able to show that you have employed 10 American jobs. So because at the time of the investment, a lot of things are based on projection. I am going to do this, I am going to do that. So usually immigration approve initial green card that is only valid for 2 years. The reason is that at that initial stage, at that time when the petition is filed, you are just giving them projection. I'm going to do this. Oh, my investment is going to do this. My investment is going to employ this. My investment is going to construct this building. My investment is going to... So when they give you a green card that is valid only for 2 years, we call it conditional green card. So at the close of the 2 years, 90 days before the expiration of that green card, you are required to apply for a 10-year green card, or what we call removal of condition. So at that stage, it is no longer projection. They want to see paperwork. They want to see the evidence of employment. They want to see that everything that you promised them at the beginning, you actually implemented it. So that is why they give an initial 2-year green card and then extend it for 10 years. So it depends on what investment. It is to prevent fraud, because people, if they give you initial 10 years, people they can withdraw their investment and not go forward with the employment creation. They can withdraw their investment and not go forward with the building construction or whatever it is that they plan to do. So that is why that initial green card is only valid for 2 years, and then you have the opportunity to extend it, to now present evidence that everything you told them you are going to do, you actually did, or you are in the process of doing. Of course, with paperwork to back it up this time. The next question: what's the next step when the first green card is about to expire? Can I apply for citizenship straight away? No, you have to first apply for the condition to be removed. You have to first apply for 10-year green card. However, if your application for removal of condition, if your application for 10-year green card after the initial green card, if your application has been pending and has not been approved within 3 years after you file the application for removal of condition, then you can apply for citizenship. The next question: I have a friend that only invested $500,000. How come you are not giving that option? Well, $500,000, 500,000, that used to be the old amount. The law that created the program, that law was changed in 2021. Initially, it was changed in 2019, but during President Trump's administration, of course, some people challenged it in court. And then I think at that time, President Trump increased it from $500,000 to $1 million. So some people challenge him in court that no, it's the Congress that has the authority to increase the fee, that the president does not have that kind of authority. So the court agreed, and then they reversed it back to the 500,000. But during President Biden's administration in 2021, the next question: what happens to the investment upon the approval of the green card? Well, the green card and the investment, this is a very good question, because I don't want my listeners to be confused. There are two issues here. The first issue is the investment. The second issue is the green card. Now, let's say you decide to go through a regional center, you deal with the regional center only on the investment. The regional center does not handle green card application. They are not immigration lawyers. So you need immigration lawyer to do that for you. Now, the immigration lawyer does not handle the investment. You need the regional center to handle that for you, or you handle it on your own. So these are two separate things. So I don't want us to mix the thing. They are two separate issues. Now, the investment, when you invest through the regional center, at the time of investment, you agree on the length, on the duration of the investment. Some regional centers will tell you that, okay, if you invest this amount of money with us, you have to keep that money with us for 5 years. This is what we are going to do with it. This is how much we will give you as return on your investment. That is an agreement you are going to have with the regional center. That has nothing to do with immigration, and it has nothing to do with the immigration attorney. So that is the investment. So the investment part, before you invest, you do your due diligence. What kind of investment are you going into? Some regional centers can tell you that, oh, we are building an apartment complex. This apartment complex is going to create 200 jobs. This apartment complex, when we build it, we are going to give you 10% on your investment. Those are arrangements you have with the regional center. That has nothing to do with immigration. The only area where it concerns immigration is that immigration is the one that monitors the regional centers. Immigration is the one that approves the regional center. Immigration is the one that can revoke the approval of the regional center. So they monitor them. Then secondly, when your initial green card is approved, when you apply for the removal of condition, when you apply for the 10 years, immigration can ask the regional center, okay, you told us you are going to build an apartment complex. We want to see the proof. Was it built? How much did it cost? How many employment did it create? So they have the opportunity to ask the regional center all these questions. But you have to understand that the timeline, or the duration of your investment, that is something that you agree with the regional center. So if the regional center tells you that, oh, we have a project that is that the duration is 3 years, then it means that you may have the opportunity to get your money at the end of the 3 years. If they tell you that, oh, our project, the duration is 5 years, it means you have the opportunity to get your money back at the end of the 5 years. So if you sign a 5-year program, even if you get your green card in the following year, you still cannot get your green card, you still cannot get your investment, because whatever term you agree with the regional center, that is what we control when you get your money back. So if you sign a project that requires 5 years, and then you get your green card in 2 years, you still have to wait the entire 5 years before you can get your money back. So that is something that you agree with the regional centers. So the next question. How long is the investment for? Well, I think I just answered that question too. The duration of the investment depends on what you agree with the regional center. It is the regional center that will give you their project, that, oh, we have this project, this is what we are planning to do, and this is when we hope to return your money. So it is the regional center that will give you all those information. Is there a guarantee that I will get my money back? Again, these are areas where you need to do your due diligence. I mean, one thing is certain. Anybody who is rich enough to afford $800,000. And of course, who didn't steal it? Because you have to provide an explanation of the source and part of fund. There is a presumption that that kind of person will have at least some basic skills, some basic knowledge about how to vet a project. So before the investment, find out what is the project that the regional center is offering. Do your due diligence. What is the nature of the project? What is the risk level of the project? So do your due diligence. You can consult investment advisor to help you with that. You do your due diligence. You look at the level of your risk before you take that step to invest in a particular project. Of course, the regional center that is going to offer the project is probably going to tell you all the beautiful things that you want to hear. So it is your responsibility to also make sure that you do your due diligence before you invest with a regional center. So technically, there is no guarantee, but if you do your due diligence and ensure that you only invest in a project that is viable, indirectly, your money will be secured, but you have to do your due diligence. The next question. I came to the US on a B1, B2 visitor visa, but my I-94 already expired and I'm still here. Can I still get my green card through investment? Well, it depends on how long. If your I-94 expired less than 180 days ago, that is 6 months, yes, if you have the funds, you can still apply. But if your I-94 has already expired more than 180 days, no. Even if you apply for the petition, your petition may be approved, but your green card application can be denied. And it is likely going to be denied because green card through investment comes under employment-based. And I've said it several times during this podcast that every single employment-based petition requires that an applicant be in legal status before you can get green card through employment. So because getting green card through investment is also classified as employment-based. It is called EB5. That is employment-based. If you have only been out of status, if your I-94 has only expired for less than 180 days, 180 days is a grace period. So within that 180 days, you can still apply. But after the 180 days, you can no longer get it approved. The next question. Can my family get green card too if I go through this route? Do I have to invest more for them to get their own card? No, it is the same amount. The same $800,000 investment gives you your spouse that is 1 year old at the time the application is submitted. So you don't need to invest any additional funds or anything. The only extra money it will cost you is the cost of applying for green card, because it doesn't matter the age of the child. Every single child will have to apply for their own green card separately. Green card is not something that somebody can obtain under the parent's application. So every person have to submit their own separate application. Even if your child is a 1-day-old child, he or she will still have to submit a separate application. And of course, you have to pay for each application. Other than that, there is no extra fee. The next question. Is the visa current for investors? Oh yes, it is current. At least as at this morning, it is current. Remember, $800,000 is a lot of money. So not many people can exhaust that category easily. So that's not something that is not like somebody who had a degree and an employer is sponsoring you. No, it's always current, because I mean it's a lot of money and not many people have that kind of money. Because for you to be able to afford 800,000, at least you must have maybe about $1.5 million in your account, or what more than that, for you to be able to afford. Because it's not even only the 800,000. The 800,000, that is the investment amount. If you decide to go through a regional center, the regional center is still going to charge their own fee for helping you to manage the investment. And of course, you are still going to pay for filing fees with I mean, can my family get green card? Yeah, I think this is the question I just answered. Oh, okay, yeah, the question I just answered is whether the visa is current. Yes, the visa is current. The next question: can my investment be starting my own company in the United States? Oh yes, I've explained this before. If you decide to do the investment on your own, yes, you must invest minimum of 900,000 instead of the 800. And of course, your investment must create minimum of 10 American jobs. So instead of the two requirements, if you are going through a regional center, you only need to meet three requirements. The first one, you have to bring in 900,000, and of course, second one, you have to explain the source of this money, and third one, you have to ensure that your investment create at least 10 American jobs. So yeah, you can start up your own business, and for as long as your business creates the minimum number of employment required, you can do this. Yeah, you can come in with your family, start your own business, file the investment application, and then apply for green card, start running your business. For as long as you employ not less than 10 American jobs, you get your green card. The next question: can the investment capital come from a loan? Yes, the investment capital can come from a loan. However, the collateral for that loan cannot be the investment. Please understand me very clearly. The investment capital can come from a loan, but the collateral for that loan cannot be that investment. So let's say I have a property. I can use my property as a collateral to obtain a loan from a bank, and then use that loan for the investment. But I cannot use that loan as a collateral I cannot use the amount of the loan as a collateral for the loan, but I can use any other property that I have as a collateral for the loan. The next question: do I, as the investor, or attention to my language? The law requires that the investment must create minimum of 10 American jobs. So if you come in, you are not an American. So you can't employ yourself and then count that as, no. You have to employ Americans who are here, not your family. The next question: can I apply if I have been rejected or terminated in the past by USCIS for an L1, E2B, or visa? Oh yes, this has nothing to do with, except the ground for denial has anything to do with maybe grounds of inadmissibility. For example, there are several grounds of inadmissibility. So irrespective of the petition, there are some categories of people who cannot get green card in the United States. For example, if somebody is determined to be a terrorist, so even if you bring in money, you cannot get green card. If somebody has been convicted of aggravated felony, so even if you bring money, you cannot. So you still have to meet all American citizens. For example, even an American citizen who has been convicted of an offense under Adam Walsh Act, that is, offenses, sexual offenses against a minor. So it doesn't matter whether you are a U.S. citizen or not. Even if you marry someone, you cannot petition for such a person. And if you do, the petition will be approved. So there are some basic inadmissibility requirements. So for as long as you do not fall into any of those inadmissibility requirements, the fact that you are denied visa previously does not affect your ability to invest through the EB5 program. The next question: how long does it take for me to receive my green card through this process? Well, the issue here, there are two things. When you apply under the EB5 program, what gives you the ability to apply for green card is the petition, is the investor petition that you are filing. So while the green card itself does not take time, that petition must be approved first before the green card can be approved. And I can tell you right now, that petition, can you please quickly check the processing time for I-526 for me?
56.5 months.
56. How many years is that? Well, the processing time currently is about 56.5 months. That's about 4.5 years of waiting. But the good thing is, if you apply from inside the US, like I said at the beginning, you get the ability to get employment authorization, you get social security number, you get travel document. So even if the application is taking 4.5 years, if the petition is taking 4.5 years, you are able to do everything that a green card holder is able to do. What else can a green card holder do? A green card holder can get a job. You can get a job as well with your employment authorization. A green card holder can travel in and out of the country. You can travel in and out of the country too with your travel permit. A green card holder gets social security. You can get social security too. A green card holder gets driver license. You can get a driver license too. So you can do virtually everything that a green card holder can do while waiting for the petition to be approved. The next question: do I need to invest the full 800,000 upfront? Oh yes. Oh yes. You have to. Before we can submit the petition, we have to show proof of funds. We have to show that the money has been transferred either to a regional center if you are going through a regional center, or into your own account here in the US if you are doing the investment on your own. Yes, the money must be transferred to the US in full. It cannot be a part. If it is a part, we cannot submit the petition. The petition cannot be submitted until the full amount has been brought into the US. The next question: what is the most common reason for denial of I-526E petition? Well, I've been doing this now for decades, and I can tell you that I don't have. Well, let me rephrase it. I've been doing this investor petition for decades. My petition has been denied a couple of times, 2 times, ever since I've been doing it, 2 times. The first time it was denied because immigration believed that the investor did not show convincing evidence of the source of the money. What did I do? I filed a motion to reopen. We provided additional explanation. We provided additional documentation, and the petition was approved. The second time it was denied, same reason. Immigration believed that the investor actually explained the source of the money, but immigration was not convinced about the part of the money. You see, it becomes a little technical here. There are two things. You have to show the source of the money. That is, where is the money coming from? Where did you get the money? What job did you do, or what business? How did you come to own the money? That is source of the money. The next thing you need to prove is the part of the money. They want to see how that money moved from your own account until it get to the US here. That is what is called part of the money. So this second denial that I'm talking about, immigration agree with the source of the money. They don't have any problem with the source of the money. What they have problem with was the part of the money, how that money moved from the client account into the regional center's account here in the US. And the problem with that was that unfortunately, the client, some of us that are from Africa, some people have this arrangement. Oh, let me pay the dollar equivalent into your account in Africa while you pay the dollar into my account here in the US. For this purpose, that arrangement will not work. And that is exactly what created problem for that client. We in that case, I have also filed a motion to reopen, providing additional documentation and everything, and that motion to reopen is still pending. So I can't preempt the outcome. I hope that is going to approve, but I'm just explaining that there are basic things. Source of the money is one thing. The part of the money is another thing. Because, like I said, this is a program that is designed to exclude people who are into money laundering. This program is designed to exclude those who obtain their money fraudulently. So, if you now go into an arrangement where you pay the local currency into somebody's account, and that person pays dollar into your American account, that person who is paying dollar into your American account will have to explain in detail the source of that money, the source of that dollar. So if you don't get somebody who is able to explain, if you get involved in an arrangement with somebody who is not able to explain the source of that dollar, then you run into trouble. So before you exchange money with somebody, please make sure that you are doing it with a legitimate organization, with somebody with a legitimate source of income. Let me tell you this. Part of the reason that example that I gave of that other client, that the petition was denied, of course, we still have a pending motion to reopen. Part of the problem was that he actually bought dollar from a bureau de change that in Africa. But guess what? After the purchase, that particular bureau de change, the license was withdrawn by the government. So now immigration is treating that transaction as an illegal transaction because the investor purchased dollar from an organization whose license has been revoked. But here is my argument. At the time the purchase was made, was the organization valid? Yes. Does the organization have a valid license at that time? Yes. So, you cannot penalize an investor for something that happened after his or her transaction. Something that happened after the transaction. At the time of the transaction, the license was valid. But after the transaction, the license was subsequently revoked. So those are some of the technical issues that are involved in this case. Because I see some investors that they want to try to save money. Maybe the official rate is higher. Maybe they are from certain countries where you can't even get the dollar to purchase from the official market. So some of these challenges, it can create problem. That is why you need an experienced immigration attorney, somebody who can guide you through, because all these experiences that I'm sharing with you, that is the best teacher. Experience is the best teacher. There is no way I would have known ahead of time that a certain organization's license is going to be revoked. There is no way. So all these things are happening, and we have the privilege of that experience, and we are in a position to use that experience to the advantage of a prospective investor. The next question. What is an E2 investor? Well, E2 visa is completely irrelevant to what we are discussing today. We are discussing obtaining green card through investment. That is what we are discussing today. E2 visa is a treaty visa. We are not discussing treaty here. We are discussing what somebody can bring, how somebody can bring in money and invest through EB5. Treaty visa is not even a green card. E2 is not even a green card. It's a non-immigrant visa. It is between countries that have treaty with the United States to do business. I mean, E2 is not available to so many African countries, including Nigeria. So if you are in Nigeria and you are thinking about E2 visa, it's not available because Nigeria is not a treaty country with the United States for that purpose. So that's not available. That's not the topic of today. The topic of today is EB5, obtaining green card through 26 petition, the investor petition. That is where you have to bring in the money. That is where you have to show the source of the legitimate source of your money. That is where you have to ensure that your money creates minimum of 10 American jobs. That is category 1. Category 2 is the green card. Applying for green card based on the investment. Now, for category 1, your home country does not affect it. The only area where your home country may affect it is the explanation of the source of the funds. There are some countries where dollar movement is restricted. Of course, the US government is well aware of all that. There are some countries where they have limits to how much transaction somebody can do daily, weekly, or monthly. Again, immigration is aware of all that. So as far as the petition is concerned, it is the same level playing field for every country. Now, when it comes to green card, this is where the field is not leveled. This is where countries differ. There are some countries with large number of immigrants. So for those countries, they are treated separately. So the number of green cards that is allowable under the EB5 category, they don't want 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 countries with large number of immigrants to use up all the available visa in that category. So they regulate it. So if you are from a very large immigrant population country like China, of course, visa may not even be current. So somebody from China may not even be able to apply for green card right now as I speak, even though virtually every investor from every other country may be able to do it. In fact, let me just confirm so that I don't guess. Let me check the current visa bulletin for that purpose. So that is the area where it can affect, where country of origin may affect the application process. So let me check. I do know that EB5 Okay, right now, the only country, well, don't let me say the only country. There are two countries that are not able to apply for green card under EB5 right now because it is not current for those two countries. And those two countries are China and India. China and India. Those are the only two countries that is affected right now. China and India. So those are the only two countries. So every other country, you can file the investment application today and also apply for green card today. But if you are from China, if you are a citizen of China or you are a citizen of India, the only thing you can do is to submit the petition and then you get on the queue. When they get to your to your turn, that is when you can apply for green card. And in fact, the backlog is so much right now for China. They are treating investor petition that was submitted in 2015. 2015. This is 2024. That is like 9 years wait. 2015. And for India, they are treating investor petitions submitted on December 2020. So for those two countries, they cannot submit application for green card. Even if the petition has been approved, they still have to wait until visa becomes current before they can apply for green card. But for any other country, you can file the application for green card today simultaneously with your petition, with your investment petition. So that is a thing. Do I have any pending question? That seems to be the last question I have here. So that is the discussion today on applying for green card as an investor. Our time is up, and I hope that you join us again next week. Remember to invite your family. Remember to invite your friends, colleagues. That's the only thing you can do to show appreciation for all these free programs that we are doing. So we hope to see you again next week. Remember, 12 p.m. Dallas time, that is 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That is for those who are in the East Coast, New York, Washington, and all that. It's 1 p.m. And of course, it's 10 a.m. Pacific. Those who are in California, mountain time is Colorado. That will be like 11 a.m. And for those who are in Nigeria, it's currently 7 p.m. So remember to invite your family, friends, and we hope to see you again next week. Thank you so much. Here is Dr. Olu Asekun again. God bless you. See you next week. Another interesting thing about our office, we try as much as possible to put smiles in our client faces.
As soon as we call that client, it's such a great feeling. I mean, at first when we're pranking them, I feel so bad.
I was coming from work because like I told you, I'm like a member of this family, and call Asekun, he wants to talk to you.
There is a strategy that we like to do. We like to surprise them. We would call and Mr. Olu would talk to them, letting them know, well, maybe something has gone wrong with their case.
He made it look as if there was no approval. But then I announced, okay, I'm coming to your office. He said, okay, but just drive carefully and things like that. So, okay, I'm waiting for you. Then when I came into the office, even the receptionist, her face was just blank. What is happening? He said, okay, let me tell him that you're around. I went to the office. He had already assembled the entire staff. And when I came in, wow, the balloon just busted. When he said, well, this is what, he made it look as if it was going to be like, and then he now Congratulations! He didn't say you were approved, he said, we have been approved.
They get so excited, they're happy, they start crying, they're just super excited. I had times where I cry with them because you feel what they're feeling. And you understand what they go through, and it, like I mentioned, like we all handle their case, we all know their cases, and it's like I am one of them, and I understand what's going on, and I'm happy for them that it's finally ended and they are now where they want to be. That is our main goal.
And I jumped. I didn't know how or where the strength came from. I didn't even think I could knock him down. I held his neck because that particular issue was so naughty. But God just used him and everything was resolved and I got my approval. The entire office, they were so happy, they were jubilating as if it was one of them or their own child.
Having someone go from a super low to a high of something, such a positive result, it feels amazing, honestly.
It's really, really a big challenge. But again, we were able to put smiles in her face and we were able to get her substantial amount of money from the insurance company. Even after paying all her medical bills, she was able to smile to the bank.
Our clients love us because we care. Their experiences are our experiences. Their joy is our joy. Their sorrow is our sorrow. So we really, really care about everyone that walks through those doors. And I think that that's what makes us special.
And then I rolled on the ground. All of them, Nigerians, you know how we react to issues. I was rolling on the ground, thanking God. Is that not caring what I was wearing or who I was looking? But the good thing is that the entire office was happy with me, not for me, because they felt that it was their win, it was their own, and we all celebrated. It was a good thing.
Help concerning my immigration status because everything was upside down, because I couldn't believe, I was even thinking maybe I'll be sent out back to Nigeria. So on getting to know him, he explained everything to me, what I'm going to do, that he's going to do everything. So fortunately for me, everything was done from him. Dr. Olu Asekun is the best lawyer so far in Texas, because I can introduce as many as whoever is having problem, especially when it comes to immigration. I'm going to introduce Lawyer Asekun because he's the best lawyer. So far, so good.
Our goal here is to make our clients happy, especially in the area of immigration, family law, and personal injury.
I was looking for Lawyer Asekun for help concerning my immigration status because everything was upside down, because I couldn't believe, I was even thinking maybe I'll be sent out back to Nigeria. So on getting to know him, he explained everything to me, what I'm going to do, that he's going to do everything. So fortunately for me, everything was done from him. Dr. Olu Asekun is the best lawyer so far in Texas, because I can introduce as many as whoever is having problem, especially when it comes to immigration. I'm going to introduce Lawyer Asekun because he's the best lawyer. So far, so good.
Our goal here is to make our clients happy, especially in the area of immigration, family law, and personal injury.
I was looking for Lawyer Asekun for help concerning my immigration status because everything was upside down, because I couldn't believe, I was even thinking maybe I'll be sent out back to Nigeria. So on getting to know him, he explained everything to me, what I'm going to do, that he's going to do everything. So fortunately for me, everything was done from him. Dr. Olu Asekun is the best lawyer so far in Texas because I can introduce as many as whoever is having problem, especially when it comes to immigration. I'm going to introduce Lawyer Asekun because he's the best lawyer. So far, so good.
Our goal here is to make our clients happy, especially in the area of immigration, family law, and personal injury.
I was looking for Lawyer Asekun for help concerning my immigration status because everything was upside down. Because I couldn't believe, I was even thinking maybe I'll be sent out back to Nigeria.
You can rely on. They work with me, they work with me like, it became something like family, right? It was no longer like, okay, this is a client, this is somebody it's providing you service, right? So it became something like a family. So, yeah, I can see the relationship was good working with his staff. People give me encouragement, but I will look at it and say, how is it possible? I said, it is not going to be possible. That's why I kept telling myself that it's not going to be possible. But he knew what he was doing. Like I said, research is very, very important. If you do research, you will learn a lot of stuff. There are a lot of immigration rules some people don't look at. There are loopholes there, and sometimes they purposely put them there. So it's research, and it's using those research to help a lot of people, not just me. It is not just me. It is a lot of people here many people here that he has helped. Many people. Sometimes it doesn't even charge them. When it comes to the point that it doesn't even charge them. So yes, if you are looking for an immigration lawyer, even if I'm sleepy right now, if I'm like sleepy, you wake me up, you say, do you know any immigration lawyer? I won't even blink, I will say it. Dr. Asekun is there, I will just say it. So, yeah.
Do day-to-day activities here in the United States. So that personal touch makes a big difference.
The law office of Olu Asekun is special because we like to put ourselves in our client's shoes.
For Dr. Asekun, for me, I will forever be grateful, and I keep telling people he's the best immigration lawyer you can have. He's the best immigration lawyer you can have. My first impression was that he was a man that you can rely on. They work with me, they work with me like, it became something like family, right? It was no longer like, okay, this is a client, this is somebody it's providing you service, right? So it became something like a family. So, yeah, I can see the relationship was good working with his staff. People give me encouragement, but I will look at it and say, how is it possible? I said, it is not going to be possible. That's why I kept telling myself that it's not going to be possible. But he knew what he was doing. Like I said, research is very, very important. If you do research, you will learn a lot of stuff. There are a lot of immigration rules some people don't look at. There are loopholes there, and sometimes they purposely put them there. So it's research, and it's using those research to help a lot of people, not just me. It is not just me. It is a lot of people here many people here that he has helped. Many people. Sometimes it doesn't even charge them. When it comes to the point that it doesn't even charge them. So yes, if you are looking for an immigration lawyer, even if I'm sleepy right now, if I'm like sleepy, you wake me up, you say, do you know any immigration lawyer? I won't even blink, I will say it. Dr. Asekun is there, I will just say it. So, yeah, that's how good he is.
Talking about immigration, as an immigrant myself, I always put myself in the shoes of clients because I've passed through the immigration process and I know how hard it can be on people when they don't have the legal documents to work or to do day-to-day activities here in the United States. So that personal touch makes a big difference.
The law office of Olu Asekun is special because we like to put ourselves in our client's shoes.
For Dr. Asekun, for me, I will forever be grateful, and I keep telling people he's the best immigration lawyer you can have. You know, he's the best immigration lawyer you can have. My first impression was that he was a man that you can rely on. They work with me, you know, they work with me like, it became something like family, right? It was no longer like, okay, this is a client, this is somebody you are providing you service, right? So it became something like a family. So yeah, I can see the relationship was good, working with his staff. People give me encouragement, but I will look at it and say, how is it possible? You know, I learned a lot of stuff. You know, there are a lot of immigration rules some people don't look at. You know, there are loopholes there, and sometimes they purposely put them there. You know, so it's research, and it's using those research to help a lot of people. Not just me. It is not just me. It is a lot of people here that many people here that he has helped. Many people. Sometimes it doesn't even charge them. You know, when it comes to the point that it doesn't even charge them. You know, so. Yes, if you are looking for an immigration lawyer, you know, even if I'm sleepy right now, if I'm like sleepy, you wake me up, you say, do you know any immigration lawyer? I won't even blink, you know, I will say it, Dr. Asekun is there, you know, I will just say it. So, yeah, that's how good he is.
Talking about immigration, as an immigrant myself, I always put myself in the shoes of clients, because I've passed through the immigration process and I know how hard it can be on people when they don't have the legal documents to work or to do day-to-day activities here in the United States. So that personal touch makes a big difference.
The law office of Olu Asekun is special because we like to put ourselves in our client's shoes.
For Dr. Asekun, for me, I will forever be grateful, and I keep telling people he's the best immigration lawyer you can have. You know, he's the best immigration lawyer you can have. My first impression was that he was a man that you can rely on. They work with me, you know, they work with me like, it became something like family, right? It was no longer like, okay, this is a client, this is somebody you are providing you service, right? So it became something like a family. So yeah, I can see the relationship was good, working with his staff. People give me encouragement, but I will look at it and say, how is it possible? You know, I said, it is not going to be possible. That's why I kept telling myself that it's not going to be possible. But him, he knew what he was doing. Like I said, research is very, very important. You know, if you do research, you will learn a lot of stuff. You know, there are a lot of immigration rules some people don't look at. You know, there are loopholes there, and sometimes they purposely put them there. You know, so it's research, and it's using those research to help a lot of people. Not just me. It is not just me. It is a lot of people here that many people here that he has helped. Many people. Sometimes it doesn't even charge